is well understood, first of all, by the reporters before they can not only just inform, educate, but also guide the listeners and the viewers out there about the objectives and aims and how this parish development model is going to be rolled out. I want to give thanks to the Ministry of Local Government who gave us facilitators. We've had a 2-day training, very informative, and our staff are really fired up and excited about this model. And we believe it's going to be one of those rare ones that are going to make sure that the vicious circle of poverty is eradicated and done away with. Our appeal to all staff of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation is to positively communicate about government programs. We are not shy to communicate government programs because the mandate that the National Resistance Movement has from the people, from the elections, mandates them to fulfill the pledges, and that is exactly what is being implemented. So all workers, everyone out there, gear yourselves to understanding and getting informed and educated about the government programs and the success stories.
We, the staff of UBC Western Pika, we were blessed to have had such a very meaningful training in Mbarara, where the staff of UBC West have been equipped with the knowledge and skills to transmit or to share knowledge regarding the parish development model, which has been a paradox to many of our audiences. Right now, we have had and we've trained on how the whole process goes. We've now come to know that it is important for every part of the country, for every citizen, and every person in your capacity, you can benefit from the parish development model.
No, this program is supposed to help them with different enterprises. They're supposed to be selected different enterprises. They're supposed to work in groups and then do bit of either if it's a commercial production, they now do commercial production as groups, farming groups, or if they're business people, they still be helped in their way, but looking at making sure they get bigger income. They make income, they make assets which make them have incomes and also make some savings to survive.
Now, over 2,000 students have this Saturday graduated in different disciplines at Kampala International University. This was the 25th graduation ceremony for the university held at their Kabalagala Best Main campus. Among the graduates was our UBC Chief News Bureau, Innocent Musinguzi, who was awarded a law degree.
The Kansanga-based Kampala International University has this Saturday held its 25th graduation ceremony. The event was presided over by the university's Vice-Chancellor, who also stepped in for the Chancellor, assisted by the board members.
Among the graduates, ladies and gentlemen, 19 of them have distinguished themselves by obtaining first-class degrees.
Present at the event was the former Chancellor Makerere University, Professor Mondo Kagonyera.
Whereas most people focus more on skills and competencies, it is important that we understand the value of knowledge because it is the bedrock of all human progress. Knowledge breeds wisdom and understanding, and I therefore appeal to you to live a life driven by the value of knowledge.
The awards, which included degrees, masters and diplomas, were conferred to 2,394 students.
I did my doctorate degree in PhD in medical microbiology of Kampala International University. This is a very interesting PhD. I was doing in area of cervical cancer, because cancer or oncology is a current need actually in the whole society in the world.
I really want to tell other graduates of mine, we shouldn't wait we looking for jobs. We really have to create our own, then the rest can get us from there.
Our UBC Chief News Bureau, Innocent Musinguzi, was among the law class.
Of course it is sacrifice. Law requires wide and extensive reading. At some point I'd wanted to pull out because it was becoming difficult for me to manage the challenges of work, but also the demands that reading comes with. But through my colleagues, they kept telling me, push on, and with the mercy of God, I succeeded.
To Musinguzi and other graduates, the task ahead for them is now to have a practical impact in their fields of work.
Because I come from a village whereby people don't know what the law is all about. People face challenges and they are just there, they don't know what to do. And I sensitize them on their basic rights, on their constitutional rights.
I think we as the young generation, our aim must be aimed at curing the irregularities and all the issues within the judicial system.
I had worked with some law firms, and I picked interest in the way they deliver justice to the needy, to the poor, to those who are yearning for it. And I said I should also go and pursue the same to help those that are in need.
My lifetime I've been a journalist but covering Parliament. And Parliament are dealing with formation of laws. So I wanted to know what is it, the process of this process of making laws. And I realized that for you to appreciate how laws are done, you must go back to the School of Law and study it.
The Principal Directorate of Industrial Training, DIT, Dr. Patrick Byakatonda, was among the notable ones who graduated with a PhD.
For the Directorate of Industrial Training, industry means business. So in order to be sustainable, in order to create jobs, we need business entrepreneurship development. We need to create knowledge, as the professor said.
In terms of quota contribution, 52% of the graduates have trained from the main campus in Kampala, whereas 48% are from the Western campus. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
And Uganda women's national football team, the Crested Cranes, are the winners of the 2022 Sikafa Senior Women's Championship. Is after overcoming Burundi in the final on Saturday at Fufa Technical Center, Njeru. In a thrilling final watched by Right Honorable Anita Among, the Speaker of Parliament Uganda, as guest of honor, Uganda secured a 3-1 win to emerge the winners for the first time ever. Sandra Nabweteme led the way for Uganda, bragging at breast, while Fazil Ikwapot netted the other goal. The consolation for Burundi came from Yankee midfielder Joel Burkuru. Uganda started on a strong foot and took on an early lead when Nabweteme fired home in the second minute beyond goalkeeper Amisa Inarukondo. Now the second goal arrived 2 minutes before the break when Ikwaput dribbled past defender Diani Rankunda and the goalkeeper before scoring into an empty net. Burundi made a strong start to the second stanza with Joel Bukuru getting a goal 4 minutes after restart. Despite their attempts, Uganda kept the resistance until when Nabweteme scored deep into stoppage time to put the score beyond reach. Ethiopia beat Tanzania 2-1 to settle for bronze in the game played before the final. Tourist Lema and Tadesse Bizuayehu scored a goal each for Ethiopia, while Tanzania got the consolation through Opa Clement, who finished as top scorer of the tournament with 7 goals. Now, the Omukama of Bunyoro Kitara King Solomon Gafabusa Iguru I has celebrated 28 years since the enthronement. Unlike the previous years, the king has not attended the celebration because of health conditions. Now, the Omugo of Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom, Margaret Karunga Dieri, has asked the people of Bunyoro to pray for the king so that he can attend next year's celebrations.
The Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom Prime Minister has asked the government to look into the escalating fuel prices in the country and look for a way forward. This was during the Omukama of Bunyoro Kitara King Solomon Gafabusa Iguru 28 years celebrations.
Abanyo wakabumba ngera kumusabira ruhanga amukize kurundi omwaka gw'okwiza kugenzena nyongera emyenda ya Bunyoro Kitara kola n'amaani kurugombo naku kandi okusomesa abaana baitu basobole okutunga emirimu birungi mpaka kuno Bunyoro tuli ebintu bingi amafuta bitu byona biri hano abaana baitu basobole kutunga emirimu birungi hano mu Bukama bwa Bunyoro.
Members of Parliament from Bunyoro asked government to make sure the region gets a public university to promote peace. The State Minister for Public Service, Mary Grace Mugasa, asked the Bunyoro to get land titles to curb the ever-increasing land grabbing in the region. State Minister for Internal Affairs, General David Muhoozi, represented President Yoweri Museveni.
It is a great pleasure to see the people of the Bunyoro Kingdom expressing their rich and unique culture. Today's celebration is a clear testimony to the fact that the NRM government took a step in the right direction to restore cultural institutions for those communities that so wish.
Dr. Solomon Gafabusa Iguru I ascended to the throne on 11th of June 1994 at Karuzika Royal Palace in the current Hoima city, after kingdoms were restored by President Yoweri Museveni. Sudat Kai, George NGONZI, UBC News.
And now President Yoweri Museveni has urged Islamic University in Uganda's graduates to work hard, love and serve their country diligently. This was in a message conveyed for him by the Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Dr. Maria Goretti Kitutu, at the institution's 30th graduation held at the main campus in Mbale district.
It was memorious joy as students from the 4 branches of Islamic University in Uganda, IUIU, graduated at the main campus in Mbale district.
Award of Bachelor of Science Education of
Over 2,200 graduates were awarded with certificates, diploma, degree, master's and PhD in the doctrines of learning that included medicine, teaching, accounting, social works, to mention but a few.
By virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I declare this 30th congregation of the Islamic University in Uganda.
Long effort done by the families, by the students, by the faculty, by the university, by the government of Uganda, to see the fruit of that.
The Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Maria Goretti Kitutu, represented President Museveni.
Serve your communities diligently and promote the economic empowerment of especially the rural areas.
Museveni pledged his commitment to empower medical fraternity and assured to fulfill his promise of giving 2 buses to the university.
Prioritize science and technology and is producing medical personnel, nurses and midwives. Government will honor its promise and provide the 2 buses as I promised you.
Among those who graduated were the Deputy Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Abdallah Semambo, the National Chairperson for Women Council of Uganda, Hajati Farida Chibowa, and Woman Member of Parliament in Namisindwa District, Sarah Kayaji Netalisile.
Saguno, kwebaza Katonda, olw'olunaku luno olukulu ennyo emisomo gya master's degree for public administration.
I have pocketed actually a master's in public administration and I'm happy. And as a Muslim woman, I'm so happy and I'm calling upon all the Muslim young people there, especially women and their parents, to encourage young girls to go to school.
To the continuing students and even those who are going to come, we all know what we want in life. What matters is for you to set your pace.
The best performing graduates were awarded with money and certificates and attributed their success to God.
I am very happy. I attribute this success to God himself.
Happy. The fact that I've been awarded is also an achievement. It's really a blessing because not everyone gets to be awarded.
The rector, Islamic University in Uganda, Professor Ismail Simbwa Jagenda, advised the graduates to keep a positive attitude and norms instilled in them while at the university. He also applauded President Museveni for the land donated to the institution and to the Islamic faith as a whole.
Giving you knowledge, we have passed on to you some key skills, and we have mentored you to have a positive attitude or disposition. You know our core values. The government of Uganda under General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has also donated land at Insambia, and I'm happy to report that already Islamic Development Bank has agreed to join us to put a commercial building as an endowment for IUIU there.
I'm Waivan Juko, reporting for UBC News.
Meanwhile, teachers across the country have unanimously resolved to lay down their tools if issues pertaining to their salary increment are not addressed before the 15th of June this year. The General Secretary, Uganda National Teachers Union, Philbert Baguma, says the teachers will not return to class if their demands are not met. This he spoke during the 4th General Assembly held at Teachers House, where he also commended the behavior of students in a video, the behavior of students in a video circulating on social media.
It was a moment of solidarity as teachers under their umbrella, Uganda National Teachers Union, addressed the media. Top among their concerns was what they described as continued neglect by government.
Almost every financial year, teachers have to remind government about the commitments earlier made. Do teachers really matter to this nation? Are the commitments made by government mere boardroom gimmicks meant to teachers and foil any plans for industrial action?
These cries stem from the 2018 collective bargaining agreement that they say catered for all teachers without discrimination. To this they say the only choice they have is this:
teachers to resume industrial action effective 15th June 2022.
In holding this industrial action, they have an appeal to teachers, government and the public.
UNATU hereby informs all teachers that the industrial action is on course. We have for a long time been taken for granted, and it is high time the concerned actors streamlined all issues pertaining to the issue of our salary increment.
However, Speaking to us on phone, the spokesperson for Ministry of Education, Dr. Dennis Mugimba, was yet to receive communication to that effect.
No, I have not received such a communication, so I can't comment about it. I'm not aware of such a communication.
The announcement of this industrial action comes barely days to the national budget reading, slated for Tuesday, 14th June, 2022. Whether their concerns will be captured in the budget or not is what will determine whether the sit-down strike goes on. Henry Okrut, UBC.
And Minister for Health Dr. WithRHODA, also Lira City Woman MP, has warned greedy politicians to desist from blocking services meant for the vulnerable communities. Who was presiding over the groundbreaking ceremony for Punuluru Health Center 3 in Lira City, said the project was delayed by almost a year because of some evil-hearted politicians.
In 2020, residents of Punoloro Cell in Lira City West Division petitioned Health Minister Dr. WithRHODA for a health center as their major challenge in the area. The closest health center area is about 15 kilometers away, which residents say is very costly to access. Christine Ogwang, a resident of Anaipida, says to access medical services, one has to part with the 6,000 for boda.
Ya kana habara po tutumia bichiel. Chiempot pe mando da wono.
The chairperson, Juba Trading Center Francis Okao, blamed the growing infant death in his area to lack of nearby health facility to respond to emergencies.
No yena yoto kelo bor village health team omio tetu ni karamedo malaria ni donga odo hatek tenu ni yenang pe John radu petia kelo yen so atine woma automatically atine teta.
In response to the health service needs in the area, the Ministry of Health secured 1.8 billion in July last year to establish Punoloro Health Center 3. However, 10 months later, the minister realized the project could not kickstart due to conflicts among city councillors in acquiring the project land. After a spirited fight to save the 1.8 billion from returning to the treasury, Lira City, through Lira City West Division, procured a 1.1 acre piece of land at 13 million, which was handed over to Biolmas Construction Limited to undertake the 12-month project.
And so we discussed this and agreed as Ministry of Health that we need to have a health facility here in Punoloro to support the people.
Mando kiredo dakatalo no wakedi chegini omiyo do wan jodo nyual dada me yuto yatin wada bera yot.
Health Minister Dr. WithRHODA lashed at evil-hearted politicians who frustrate services intended for the community for their self-gain.
So I want to once again caution our leaders in Lira City. It is extremely important that we put our differences aside and concentrate on issues that are developmental.
For now, to respond to the medical emergencies in the area, Acheng handed over a fully equipped ambulance to the city authorities.
It will support pregnant women and children, but also in the case of referrals, it will support referrals.
Eddie Oloa, UBC News.
Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has said Uganda aims at adding value to coffee in order to tap onto the global value that now stands at $460 billion. Now, the president was yesterday delivering an opportunity lecture to a delegation of 21 visiting senior military officers from the Nigerian National Defense College who are on a strategic tour to Uganda to learn more on agriculture with a particular emphasis on coffee production under the theme Agriculture and Natural Development with focus on coffee development, production and export.
but also in terms of ideas. Because the problems are the same. When you hear the problem of Somalia, it is really sectarianism. Clan. And in all these places, it is the same problem of identity. When you think identity is more important than interests, then you are in trouble. So for us, we say no, needs first. Identity, yes, is important. We don't have to, but that's private. That's yours. For us, we look at our common needs. These are the ones we deal with. If you look at North America, they have got only three countries there. That continent of North America, only 3 countries. It's like 7 million square miles of land with only 3 countries: Canada, United States, and Mexico. Here, 54 countries. So that means the market is fragmented politically and economically. So that's why our leaders, even before us we came into government, our leaders had started seeing this. That's why there was that meeting in Lagos in 1980, where they worked out what they called the Lagos Plan of Action. By, I think, the independence for that 20 years, from the time of Ghana, 97, Nigeria, 60, I think they had started seeing that they were not moving. And they rightly identified that one of the bottlenecks was a fragmented market. That's how they started working for the economic integration of Africa. That time, that's when they formed this ECOWAS, this one here, this COMESA. That time it was called something else. What was this called before COMESA? It was called something. Then there were supposed to be others, regional blocks of integration, and eventually into the continental free trade area, which we have now signed. Now, this is the correct approach, because if the market becomes one, then it makes my work very easy as a producer.
I must say, Your Excellency, that since our arrival, we have been treated with utmost courtesies. We have been well received from the airport. And in fact, the Chief of Defense Staff himself made it a point to check on us at the airport on arrival. We also want to inform His Excellency that we have received briefs on Uganda as a country, on the Uganda People's Defense Force, as well as on agriculture and coffee production, all done at the Joint Command Headquarters, as well as the Ministry of Agriculture. The Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Bright, personally spoke to us on agriculture and dairy production in Uganda, and the Executive Director of the Ugandan Coffee Production Age Authority also spoke to us about coffee production.
So my question is, in what you believe about Pan-Africanism and regional and African integration. So also, as you said, you have given us in your speech, this has depicted in what you are doing. But sir, I want to get more information, your vision, how to integrate and expand and bring Africa together, just like you cited example in your speech about the GDP of Africa compared to GDP of other countries and continents. So what is your vision, your effort to integrate Africa and to sell the ideas and what you are doing right here in Uganda, sir?
Now, rampant cattle thefts and the increasing cases of commercialized cattle rustling in neighboring districts of Karamoja region have led to an increase in daily cattle markets that security agencies say must be regulated to curb the crime. This was revealed in a briefing by security agencies to President Yoweri Museveni, who is on a security assessment tour of the districts bordering Karamoja region.
Something you called ISO. Did you know something called ISO? It's not confirmed, but I had a rumor that there's something called ISO. Now, this ISO, their job is to know, to suspect people. You don't have to wait for me to do bad things. You are, in our language, we call them mbega. So, even these ones who are coming from South Sudan, very easy for these beggars to establish like a business group involving people even on the other side who can appear as if they are doing business, but in fact, they are very easy. So that you have intelligence-led operations, because it seems the operations Bainomish is talking about are reaction. There is a raid, then you react to trace the one who has raided. But why couldn't you discover this person before he raided, or if he raided once, even if you don't catch him now? Why can't you, through the inquiry method, the okuwuriza investigation, locate who he is, and then we'll go for him, both inside Karamoja and even across the border in South Sudan?
I would like to thank you, Your Excellency, together with all the armed forces, for showing all of us Ugandans that it is because of peace and security that our children can go to school, that all the business people can go to the markets, that even those who need health attention can go to the health facilities, and so on and so forth. I say that because I would like to pick from the point where you said that this is more of law enforcement operation. It's not a war.
Sir, the current security situation in the 5th Division area of responsibility is calm at this moment, except we registered a few cases of livestock theft and even some killing and injuries of innocent civilians by Kajongo thieves from Kotido and Langis from South Sudan, Yukotos. And even we have registered some torture has been reported a certain occasion, and this mostly happened when the ferry directly failure to identify the location of the cows, and they end up torture the civilians so that they can restock, we can locate where the crow and the animal is. Sir, the challenges with our brothers in South Sudan, in the border, especially the border demarcation, where they claim that River Nyumu, which is inside in Uganda, is that there is a borderline. That is where they have a problem.
As for issues of cattle rustling, we have only registered one incident in Otuke, where some animals were taken. There was also an incident that had been reported earlier on in Alebutong, but later we realized it was just ordinary theft. We have a force of 1,200 personnel only within the 9 districts of the region, inclusive of the city that already has 2 divisions. We had a small force of the anti-stock safety team that was in Otuke, but it was eventually withdrawn and taken to Karamoja to beef up those areas that were having a bigger challenge in terms of stealing of cattle. Sir.
And police, in partnership with the Youth Integrated Development Organization, have sensitized students in Bushenyi district on discipline within school. The main purpose for School Against Crime initiative is to provide learners with an educational foundation for better livelihoods.
Bushenyi district continues to experience significant cases of teenage pregnancy and drug abuse, which often escalate school dropout. Police, along with Youth Integrated Development Organization (UDO), are in Bushenyi district to address the avoidable vices through Schools Against Crime project.
The program is going to put them back to normal, because in the lockdown there were no rules and regulations that could govern these students, and especially their lifestyles.
There is a massive call to Youth Integrated Development Organization from various schools to do intervention. But the challenge that the Youth Integrated Development Organization has, it cannot manage to solve this because basically of the resource envelope.
The Schools Against Crime concept are to install values of integrity, ethics, moral leadership, and improve discipline among learners.
We so far have got structures learning in our partner schools, and through these partner schools we get to establish what is happening on the ground that would really call for our intervention. And we discovered that our youth is having challenges. Mostly there is a lot in marital sex. There is a lot of drug abuse, which is a menace to our Uganda tomorrow.
Schools Against Crime clubs formed to bridge the gap between learners and school administrations to curb crime in learning institutions.
For example, cases of brutality, cases of rape, these cases are not supposed to be handled at school level. These cases are supposed to be handled by the police. So as the SAC team, we are going to work strongly with the Uganda Police Force.
The students applauded the training as the best way against crime in schools.
Left in the school, riots, strikes, I'm going to fight them with great efforts, combining efforts with the administration.
We are making poems, we are making essays, we are making discussions or debates. For example, a debate about family violence.
Students from Basajjabala Senior Secondary School, Lyonza Senior Secondary School, Ishaka Vocational, Victoria Girls, Alinuwa, and Bubali Senior Secondary School attended the training. Haruna Mutesa Asira, UBC News.
And the Minister of State for Education and Sports, Dr. Joyce Moriko Kaduchu, has advised youth graduates to take personal responsibility for their health. She was officiating the graduation ceremony of over 100 youth in Ajumani district who had undergone training in various vocational skills with support from Jesuit Refugee Support or Service.
The Minister of State for Education and Sports, Dr. Joyce Moriko Kaduchu, has advised the youths who are graduating from different university and tertiary institutions to stay away from alcoholism and drug addiction.
Personal responsibility of your health. At times we forget, we get overexcited, we want to enjoy life, we want to take risky behavior, and at the end of it, before realizing your parents need your support, already has gotten into alcoholic addiction, has gotten into drug abuse, has gotten into risky behavior and acquired HIV, acquired behavioral diseases. Life is a journey. It's not a race that you must run. Acquire wealth in one day.
Kaduchu was addressing survivors of teenage pregnancy who were trained in various skills like hairdressing, tailoring, and weaving, and ICT with support from Jesuit Refugee Service.
That you must run and acquire money in one day. That you must run and start what you want to acquire in one day. It's a journey, not a race. A journey that you take one at a time, at a step, with a step. And involve the Lord that gave you the wisdom in the center of your activity.
The resident district commissioner, Adjumani District Taban Data Peter, encourages youth people to work hard to enable them benefit from different government programs. He added that it is only through work that they will come out of poverty.
If you don't want to work, you should not eat. This is a message we should go with. There are very many people who sit the whole day doing nothing. There are very many people who move from family to family searching for food.
The project director, Jesut Refugee Services Western Region, Gemuchu Yadeta Gabisa, called upon the government to support these survivors of teenage pregnancy by releasing them from the community after a 6-month vocational training.
These women, you see them, they were affected by COVID crisis. Most of them were teenage mothers when they came to us. In our culture, when girls are pregnant, they are neglected including by their parents, relatives, and extended families, and they are left out. So they don't have support. Some of them, they used to come with the babies and carry on their back and on their laps, and they put them in the corner, and then they learn in class.
A South Sudanese refugee, Maturu Martha, says the training has restored her hope in life as she can now provide for her child.
I have seen changes in my life. Right now I have one child. I can be able to take care of my child.
The Assistant Community Services Officer, UNHCR Adjumani Namurenge Miriam, says skilling must be adopted to empower refugees with livelihood skills.
Skilling is an option source of livelihood in absence of land for agriculture for our persons of concern. We are cognizant of the fact that skilling prepares our persons of concern for repatriation, in a sense that refugees will be able to return to their country of origin as changed persons instead of people who only think about war.
The Ministry of Education and Sports has approved a new curriculum which is student-centered and vocational training.
And shortage of applied skills and knowledge are escalating youth unemployment, mainly vulnerable girl children in Nakawa Division. Mayor Nakawa Division Paul Mugambe says most of these vulnerable girls are prone to prostitution, resulting into child mothers.
The helping hand keeps extending day by day as clean water projects are provided to several people living in and around Kampala metropolitan area.
What we feel is like a number of local people, they are facing problem of clean waters.
This project will continue in future.
Municipal Alliance for Better and Smart Cities initiative has embarked on skilling the girl child in the city suburb of Banda, Kasenyi slums within Nakawa, with basic skills in tailoring, weaving, and hairdressing. During the Municipal Alliance for Better and Smart Cities graduation ceremony, the founder, Mabas James Chibirige, explained that the initiative aims at empowering the girl child with skills aimed at improving their livelihoods.
Our aim is to see that we also empower them to have a say economically in their families, because we've seen many of them having challenges economically. Some of them are having domestic violences in their homes. Even the society itself, the community itself, is making them more vulnerable to many challenges. So we decided to empower them by giving them skills like hairdressing, tailoring, liquid soap making, and others. So today we've passed them out. Mayor
Nakawa Division Paul Mugambe says many youth in Nakawa Division are unemployed due to shortage of vocational skills. He proposes a tax waive to the youth for starting up business.
The reason is that on the day when they start their businesses, when KCC comes to close them, when they have started with very small capital of 100,000, KCC comes to demand a trading license of 300,000. You know, so what we are saying is that the youth should get tax waivers for the first year when they start their businesses.
Some of the graduates say the acquired skills will transform their livelihoods.
It is going to help me a lot because I've acquired a lot of skills.
I was totally poor, but what I know, tailoring has given me hope that I'm going to be a rich lady.
Speaking at the graduation, Dr. Michael Rumewaiga, the Member of Parliament Uyikwe, explained that skilling the girl child is the best option to manage joblessness among the youth.
Have a lot of time with them, give them moral rearmament, give them ethics with the skills, let them produce, let them market, let them have their products on the market, and then let them get wealthy.
The graduation ceremony was presided over by Nakawa Member of Parliament Joel Senyonyi, who applauds Mabas for protesting against unemployment through practical trainings. Sudat Kaye, Robert White, UBC News.
Meanwhile, the Speaker, Nakawa Division Local Council Godfrey Luyombia says the ADH Chinese-supported project will cater for over 1,000 people in the area. This was during the handover of the water well at an event graced by Nakawa West Member of Parliament Joel Senyonyi.
The helping hand keeps extending day by day as clean water projects are provided to several people living in and around Kampala metropolitan area.
What we feel is like a number of local people, they are facing problem of clean waters.
This project will continue in future.
The network of Chinese investors joining the quest for provision of clean water to Ugandans is growing. The latest to join is ADH Group, a solar and home appliances service provider.
They use the generator traveling, I think, 5 kilometers to get the water only for the daily use. I found those people at the gathering. I'm making well, so I'm joining the team.
We came out and to provide water for the environment so that everyone can get well-equipped water from a good environment.
It is a gesture that locals and their leaders have welcomed, including Area Member of Parliament Joel Senyonyi.
As leaders, there's things that we can do where we are able to, whether it be using our salaries and so on, to do this and that, but then there's a lot more we are unable to do. So where we are able to lobby, it becomes a good thing.
This is something that is impacting on the community, and we are looking forward to lobbying such initiatives such that the vulnerable communities can always benefit in such great initiatives.
However, for continuation purposes, locals have to maintain the water source.
They should also contribute their own efforts to make it the water wheel to continue working for maybe for some time before they get the tap water. I hope that this one can serve them for a healthy life.
By doing so, ailments associated with water will be dealt a blow, as more of such projects are expected in other areas.
Have waka, you bust the eyes through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo. Jambola be waka, look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Show them waka with MTN Momo Nyabo. Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Football packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where
entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Ugandan shillings per month. GoTV, great stories. Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Oh, see. You say I was just trying to get the documents to register for Airtel Money.
You don't need the documents. You just say for register.
What's going on here?
He sells things from the shop, and behind my back, he gets the money and gives it to his girlfriends.
But just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet, and only you, the owner, have access to it.
Just dial *185 *10 hash, and now you are on. No waiting. Huh? This insanity is sweet. Give them also.
I only take Airtel Money Pay. It's easy and secure.
Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today. Easy.
No mixing your business money with your Kameza money. No, that's efficient.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Fellow citizens, thank you for diligently and consistently honoring your tax obligations. It is through your collective contribution that the government is able to provide social services. In spite of the simultaneous global crises that have hit our livelihoods and businesses, you have proven that as a people, we can rise up and still mobilize domestic revenues enough to sustain us as a country. As we close in to the end of this financial year, I urge you not to lose the momentum and resilience that you have demonstrated all year through. Please file your returns and remit your taxes in time to avoid unnecessary inconveniences that come with non-compliance. As Uganda Revenue Authority, we are committed to facilitate you in honoring your obligations through a reliable and delightful service. I invite you to use our various e-platforms to remit your tax contributions with ease and on time. We have extended all our working hours at all our border stations, the bonded warehouses, and service centers. Should you need further assistance, please contact us via our toll-free lines and our WhatsApp platforms. Tax is the surest way of liberating our country from the bondage of economic dependence. Let us all play our part, pay our dues, and develop our country. For God and my country.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Welcome back. Now in business news, Government of Uganda has launched the Livestock Identification and Traceability System, which it believes will enable identify history of the livestock to provide conclusive information on quality before export. The launch was presided over by the State Minister for Agriculture in charge of Animal Husbandry, Lieutenant Colonel Bright Rwamirama.
Livestock disease prevention, monitoring, surveillance, control and food safety for quality assurance in Uganda is hindered by the fact that livestock and their products are not adequately traced and identified. The traceability of the source of problem that might occur along the value chain and likely mitigation is not possible without identification and thus relevance of the traceability system.
Livestock identification and traceability system is very important to the country and farmers because of the following reasons. One, it enables the verifiable identification and trace back of livestock and livestock products. This is very important in the country if we have to benefit participate in the global trade in livestock and livestock products. You must be aware that now internationally people are interested to know from what they eat, from the farm up to the table.
This system is secured by the Directorate of Animal Resources of the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to enable easier access to foreign markets.
The livestock identification system is a system whereby what we are using is a chip and a tag an ear tag. The usual ear tags that we know which have numbers so that you can see, but the numbers that are in the that we can see on the ear tags are associated electronically with the numbers that are in a chip.
Rakai, Chotera and Iganga districts have been selected as pilot districts before it can be rolled out in the country. The program is supported by Government of Uganda, European Union and Makerere University. Minister Rwamirama also launched a book on ticks control and also partook of a groundbreaking for construction of a holding ground and checkpoint for animals from Tanzania.
And Uganda's efforts to revamp water transport have been boosted by the acquisition of another ship, the MV Nordeal Victoria, that will boost movement to various locations, notably Kalangala. This ship has been secured from Turkey by National Oil Distributor and has the capacity to carry 200 people and will boost transport to improve trade and also offer employment.
We have managed to be given honors of those heroes because we have put a stone on the development of water transport. We have brought MV Nordeal in a bid to see that we close the gap that has been created by the not having enough vessels that can ferry people from the mainland to the islands. Therefore, it was necessary for us to produce or to bring in to close the gap so that people can enjoy the transport and can also we develop them, especially their youth, because now they are getting jobs. And on behalf of government, we have helped. And on behalf of the people of Uganda, yes, we have given in something to see that development is observed. Therefore, for us, like National Oil, if we are given honors like of hero on this Heroes Day, it is real, it is true. That is the fact. We should get it. Because it's spending and investing so much in that water transport is not an easy thing. So we appreciate the honors that were given to us.
And the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, with support from United Nations Development Programme's Rapid Financing Facility, that's under the Sustainable Tourism and Inclusive Business Ecosystem Project, committed resources towards green stimulus packages to build community resilience. In this regard, a capacity building exercise for youth food street vendors to improve hygiene, quality of service, business practice, financial management and waste management has been concluded for the 9 districts in Rwenzori region.
Uganda's tourism potential is mostly evident in the Rwenzori region that houses Fort Portal City, which is billed as Uganda's tourism capital. This region houses what are arguably Uganda's most adored tourism sites and is now destined to add culinary tourism, which is an aspect of culture tourism.
We would like to see that amplified. We would like to see Kabarole, we would like to see Fort Portal becoming a true tourism city that we talk about. And in doing this, we looked at the cultural significance of the Choto, we looked at culinary tourism, and we know that Fort Portal or the people from Toro have a lot of cuisines that are unique and very good. I personally love Filinda.
Culinary tourism deals with exploration of food as the purpose of tourism and is under the auspices of Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities being highlighted. To pull this off, the ministry partnered with a Rolex initiative to implement an exercise that benefited more than 500 vendors that were tutored on how best to improve.
And that is where we concentrated, because if everybody is taking Rolex, then why don't we promote Rolex? Why don't we address the issues relating to Rolex? And I think the Rolex initiative, we are very keen in telling you what the focus areas were. Standards was very important. How do we do nutrition improvement? How do we do innovation? How do you bring filinda and other cuisines that are local into the Rolex thing?
The vendors trained were from the districts of Chegegwa, Chenjojo, Kabarole, Kasese, Bunyabugabo, Kamwenge, Ntoroko, Bundibujo and Fort Portal City, with the best 2 from each district awarded a modern Rolex wagon worth about 2 million Uganda shillings.
The Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is back on Sunday, 3rd July 2022 at Lubiri Mengo. This year, the run will be physical and will be flagged off by Sabasaja Kabaka at 7 a.m. Come out in large numbers once again to Lubiri Mengo. Run for a cause to fight and end HIV by 2030. Buy your ticket today at 15,000 Uganda shillings from Airtel shops at Tobani Center, New Taxi Park, ShopRite Building, Benchwanka Street, Majestic Brands Office at Bulange Mengo. You can also buy your ticket using Airtel Money. Dial *185*5#. Select Payments, select Kabaka Run, and follow the prompts to complete the payment. Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is brought to you by UNAIDS, CBS, BBS, and Airtel, the smartphone network.
Leaders who care create a good learning environment.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Fellow Ugandans, on Tuesday, 14th June 2022, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development will read the budget speech for the financial year 2022-2023. What are the priorities and opportunities in it? To know this and more, please listen to the budget speech Financial Year 2022-2023 on 14th June 2022 starting at 2 p.m. across all television and radio stations in Uganda. Our budget, our responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, CSBAG, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and National Budget Month partners.
Have waka, you pass the ice through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo. Jambola be waka, look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo.
Show them waka with MTN Mama Nyabo. Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Welcome back. Now, sports. The National Special Olympics that were hosted at St. Joseph's College, Laibi, have climaxed. The 2-day sports event for more than 200 athletes with intellectual disability attracted representation from several districts. Organizers identified the best that will represent Uganda at the Global Special Olympics in Germany.
Here they come, here they come, here they come. Yes, give us your hands. You're not scaring your asses. Yes, all the
Like today, the turn-up wasn't bad because we had projected to have 258 athletes and partners, and it happened that we exceeded the number that we are supposed to work with. We are currently working with around 350 athletes. So we exceeded by some good number of athletes. So the turn-up wasn't bad.
find the games were a bit more organized, given the fact that we are up country, but then the competition, the level of competition was a little bit on the lower side. I think the COVID affected it. But the athletes put it all out there. They did their best, given the fact that we had 2 years break, but I think they did their best. We need to do a lot of training, athletics especially. The other team sports were fine, but athletics, we need a lot of improvement. We need a lot of training there because I saw most of them were disqualified because they were going into the different lanes. But I think athletics is where we need to do a lot of improvement.
And several education institutions in Uganda hosted belated Heroes Day celebrations at Mpoma Girls. It was a sports fiesta, while Caring Heart Primary School used the occasion to find out whether learners understand the essence of the day.
Students have been advised to embrace sports that can make them not only national heroes, but also big-time breadwinners for their families. This was by non-government organization Eminent Executive Director Esther Sempebwa, who graced the Mpoma Girls School Sports Gala.
Just encourage you ladies, make advantage of the platform that has been available to you. Because I was telling the guest of honor that in a single girl school, the girl has all the space to be her best, isn't it?
At Caring Heart Primary School in Kakiri, Wakiso District, learners embarked on intellectual brilliance to understand what Heroes Day means.
Heroes Day, a day for all Ugandans to recognize their heroes. A day to remember the peace fighters on the soils of our mother country, Uganda. We are proud of you, our heroes.
Let's rejoice our heroes, for they shed blood for us to live, and it is the peace we are enjoying now.
O Lord our God, to you we dedicate our heroes.
And the State Minister for Sports, Hamson Obua, has pledged government desire to work with the private sector to grow sports in the country. He was officiating at the first ever Heroes Day Kabaddi Championship, whose highlight was a friendly game between Uganda and India.
Kabaddi sport has its roots in India from more than 4,000 years back, but started in Uganda in 2018.
Uganda national team.
Within those few years, the sport has grown by leaps and bounds and has already qualified both gender teams to next year's Kabaddi World Cup due in India. Such steps have impressed State Minister for Sports Hamson Obua, who acknowledges Indians' support and commits government effort.
As government, we try our level best to support the 51 federations, and they compete for the mega resources that we have. But to have friends like you from India, mobilizing the community of India in Uganda, mobilizing the corporates from India in Uganda, mobilizing the banks from India in Uganda, mobilizing investors from India in Uganda to support Kabaddi, and you are the frontline commander. You deserve a big round of applause. We want to thank you. And I want to commit that we will work with you. We will work together with all those respective families from India to make Kabaddi a Ugandan sport.
The Indian High Commissioner Ajay Kumar promised more and has urged compatriots to invest in a league to grow the sport across the country.
Kabaddi Federation rightly thought that we should take this game to the next level, and the only way we can do that is to start corporate leagues in Uganda.
This was during the first ever Heroes Day Kabaddi Championship, at which Uganda edged a select Indian community Kabaddi team 21-18. The championship was also officially used to unveil the Kabaddi mat, procured by Bank of India at close to 25 million Uganda shillings.
We are trying to gather support from the Indian community specifically. The reason is that this game belongs to India. It is a 4,000 years old game in India, So the Indian High Commissioner came on board. He unconditionally motivated a lot of Indian sponsors, and we have been managing to collect a lot of funds.
The fun-filled Heroes Day Kabaddi Championship also witnessed Uganda women's national team beat Murusa girls 12-7. John Burns Centum reporting.
Well, that does it for UBC News tonight. I am NGONZI. Have yourselves a good night.
Honorable Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao, the Minister of State for ICT, announces the death of her son, Ronald Daniel Sebugwao, which occurred today, 11th of June 2022. There will be a vigil on Sunday and Monday evenings at her home in Nalia, Kampala. Funeral service will be on Wednesday at Namirembe Cathedral at 10 a.m. and thereafter burial at Ibukorua Village in Kumba in Entebbe at 2 p.m. Informed His Excellency the President, His Excellency the Vice President, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, the Katikkiro of Uganda, the Archbishop Church of Uganda, Honorable Members of Parliament, members of Mothers Union, relatives, friends, and in-laws.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Yes, hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Calling you from the mobile service center.
Okay. So how can I help you?
Well, we have noticed a few things wrong with your number and need your mobile money PIN.
Tonfera, never give out your password or PIN to any caller. Your mobile service provider will never call or ask for your personal details. If in doubt, go to your nearest phone service center.
This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
Water gives life. Water is life. But not all water is created equal.